Welcome to the Naomi Show.
Hi there, I'm Naomi Robson. Now, you're getting serious in your relationship and you're thinking about moving in. But should you be considering a financially binding agreement? That is something that protects your assets. Now, you may have a car, you may have a house. Should you be looking at getting one of these agreements to protect the things that you already own before you start that relationship? Well, I'm joined by psychologist Steve Ash to have a little bit of a chat about this subject, because it is coming up more these days, isn't it? With people who have assets that they bring to the relationship, when they actually move in together, some people are now signing FBAs, aren't they, as well?
Look, it's a very touchy area.
But
the sad thing is that the marriage rate, and we know from statistics that, you know, a third of marriages are going to break up. So it makes sense to do it. However, most people don't do it because there's a little bit of a psychological thing of, if I'm going to ask for that, then I'm actually saying, well, I don't think this relationship's going to last.
Well, yeah. I mean, I certainly agree with that. You know, I think if I was asked for a prenup, if I was getting married, I would feel that the person doesn't trust me to be reasonable if things did go horribly wrong down the track. And at the same time, clearly people do think, look, shouldn't you be looking forward with optimism to the future rather than thinking about what might go wrong? But you do talk about sexually transmitted debt, don't you? This is one of your things. Just take us through what the value is. I mean, it is certainly not a romantic thing to do. It's nothing to do with the romance and happiness about moving in together,
It's being very practical, because what happens is, at the time of a breakup, you are not in your best frame of mind to be sorting through a fair split. So what this is doing is simply doing it when you're in the best frame of mind. And I think it's particularly good for people who perhaps own a business, because once you've been with somebody for a couple of years or in a marriage, they can then become a silent partner to your business, because that becomes a shared asset. So if you come into the relationship with a business or really quite an imbalance of assets, or you've got children, for example, or you've got things that relate to your, and many more people have that now because there's much more fragmentation, then you really should be looking at fairly protecting that and deciding, look, this is a fair way that we should split this up at the end, if there is an end. And if there isn't, well, that's great, because we'll be together and it won't matter.
I think the thing is, you know, it does imply things could go wrong in the future. And I think most people really want to go into their relationships taking the positive view that, look, we've decided to be together, we've decided to move in together, therefore this is going to be long term.
Although there's an interesting study in America that says that 1 in 5 people believe in true love and that the relationship won't break up.
Yeah.
So more and more people are sort of, even maybe they look at it for other relationships, but if it's their own and they feel really fantastic, they probably think, well, this is going to last forever. But the reality is that so many don't, that it's practical.
It's the glass half full, glass half empty kind of argument, isn't it, really? And I think the thing is that in some cases it could destroy a relationship, couldn't it?
I don't know. I think that if the relationship is really strong, why would it? Because if you care
about... If the relationship is strong, why would you want to have this agreement?
Because it's factually and statistically, there's a high likelihood of breakups. So if your relationship is really strong, then why would this break it up? I mean, there are so many things that could break it up. But then again, maybe if you're somebody who's the 1 in 5 who believes in true love, plus you're 1 in whatever that gets upset by these kind of things, then probably it will.
It's a really interesting subject. We actually have a story on the site about the pros and cons of prenups, which is, you know, along the lines of what we have in Australia, which is financially binding agreements. So check that out. But Eve, it's a really interesting area and something that, you know, I think we all have to take under advisement.
And it's switched from being something that everybody thinks, oh, the guy's got assets and, you know, the girl's moving. But I'm thinking a lot for women who have got assets and have built them up over time.
And there are a number of relationships these days, aren't they, where financially the woman is more of the breadwinner.
Yeah.
Increasingly so. It's a very interesting area. Thank you so much, Eve.
Okay.
And we'll see you next time.
Your love life, let's talk about it at naomishow.com.